Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel leelawebdev. In this video, we will learn how to add a custom validators to the template driven forms. So we have seen the normal, what I can say is the ng model, these type of things is there, right? Which where you try to see the HTML attribute validators. So these are all predefined validators, which we are able to see it right now here. And here we are able to show those all predefined validators and the corresponding errors. For example, let's say that if you are trying to keep it as an empty, then you are able to show that name is required. And when you are trying to write which is not particular minimum length, means we are able to show name must be at least 4 characters long. Let's say that we need to add some custom validators to the template driven forms. If you want to write that have custom validators, let's say that, for example, let's say that my name Leela, so this name is not allowed in this one. So in the actor form, if you are trying to write the name which has Leela or Bob or anything, so these names should not be allowed. So here you need to write that name is an invalid, so invalid name. So these type of validations we need to do it. So for those type of things, what we need to do it is we need to implement a custom validators. That is nothing but the validators which we will be writing by our own. So let's try to see how we can write the custom validators in the template driven forms right now I'm saying. So I will cover everything from which piece is necessary and how it works in the Angular framework. Let's try to write. So now what I want to say is a custom validation function. Let's try to create a custom validation function. So here I will be creating a custom validation functions here in an actor form. Here I'll be creating a new file that is nothing but forbidden name. So here I'll be creating a forbidden name dot validator .ts file. So this one is a normal function, so which is of type validation function. So let me write this one. So why we will be creating is a custom validation function is essential for defining the actual validation rule. So now we want to prevent the users from entering the certain names like Leela or anything into an input field. So first of all, I am trying to write the logic in this validator and I will try to use this validator. So for this one, what we will do it is, so here I will create a function, export function, and this function is nothing but forbidden name validator. So this is the validator, and this one will take the name, that is nothing but the forbidden name, whatever the name you are trying to give it. So it can be a regular expression or anything. So I will take it as a regular expression, and this returns the validator function. So this returns the validator function. That's it. So now here we need to read validator function is nothing but it is a function. So that means I will return the function, and this function will have we need to send the control, which is an form control. So we can say it as an abstract control. So abstract control, and this will return the validation error. So this one should return the validation errors or null, whatever it may be. So if it has validation means error means you need to return a validation error. Validation errors means is nothing but an object. I will try to explain you one by one this line. So first I will take the forbidden name. So I will take the forbidden is equal to for constant forbidden name, forbidden is equal to forbidden name dot test. So I am trying to check the regular expression. So here I need to send the control, so the form control dot value. In that form control, you know that it will be having a form control value, and if it is forbidden means then you are getting forbidden. If it is forbidden means then I need to return an object. So it's a simple object, forbidden name, so which will be able to use it there, and here I can write the value and I can just send the control dot value. That's it. So some object we need to send it, and here I will be using the null. I will explain you everything. So that's it. So this is the simple logic which we are trying to write it, the forbidden name validator. Now let's try to explain, let's try to understand each step by step. So what is the purpose of this one? This function will check if the input contains a forbidden name and returns an error if it does. So it will take the forbidden name. If it is a forbidden or not, it will try to check that one. If it is there means it will return an error. That is nothing but a validator function. So now it takes the parameter. First one is the forbidden name, which is of type regular expression. We pass a regular expression to define the forbidden pattern. This allows flexibility. We could forbid exact words or broader patterns also we can use it. So that's why I'm using the regular expression normally. The return type. So now the another one is the return type. So the return type for this one is a validator function. What is this validator function? A validator function is a specific type of function Angular expects for the validators. So if you are trying to implement the validator means, see, this is the function what the Angular expects. It takes an abstract control, that is nothing but the one. Any form input control it will take it, that is nothing but an abstract control, and returns either validator errors, that is nothing but an object if there is an error, or otherwise null if the value is valid. This is thing. So now here in the logic what we are trying to do, here we are trying to test with a forbidden.test control.value. Checks if the control's value matches the forbidden pattern or not. If it is matching means then we are returning an object of forbidden name value control.value. So if the name is forbidden, this is the error message Angular will recognize with the key forbidden name. So with the key forbidden name it will recognize. Null means if no error. So this function does not interact directly with the template. It needs to be applied as a part of a directive to work seamlessly with the template driven forms. So this one will not directly interact with the template. So now next we need to implement the directive, and that directive will interact with the template. So now let's try to create the validation directive. So the directive serves as a wrapper around the validation function. So for this validation function, it serves as a wrapper directive. The Angular's template driven forms uses the ng_validators to identify and apply custom validators. So we will register our directive within the ng validators. So let's try to create the forbidden name directive. So here in this active form only I am creating forbidden name dot directive dot ts file. So this is the ts file which I am trying to do. So here export, something problem is there. Okay, comma I have written. Let's try to rename it to .ts. Yeah. So now here we are able to see export class forbidden name directive, and it should implement the validators. Okay, so it should implement the validator. That's it. So now this one is a directive. So here we need to write the directive. And this should have the selector, that is a selector. So the directive should be imported. So that's why we are not able to get. Yeah. So selector should be app forbidden. Otherwise we will try to give something like in capital letter, something like that we will give. App forbidden name. Okay, that's it. So now we need to keep it as a standalone true. That's it. These are all enough. And here validator. So if you are trying to give the validator means then we need to implement a method that is nothing but validate. So this is the validate, and this takes a control abstract control, and it will return the validation errors. Fine. So here we will get it as an input. So what you will get is an input, that is nothing but the forbidden name. So you will get it with the directive name only. App forbidden name. It's the same name what I am trying to use it, that is the name. And here we need to, let's close this one so that you can able to see it clearly. So here this is an input. Okay, and here I can write the name forbidden name. So this is the forbidden name which I am trying to implement. So right now by default it will be empty. That's it. So now if it is a validation errors means then what I need to do, so here I need to return if forbidden name is there. So that means if it is not empty, then what I should do, so then I need to call the validator function. So what is a validator function? So that one you know, forbidden name validator. So we have written the code, right? And for this one we need to return the regular expression, new regular expression of control. So we will be getting that control dot value. That's it. So now we are setting it like this, and we need, and this forbidden validator will try to return the function, and we need to call this function inside the directive. So for that function we need to send the abstract control. So we are sending the control, or otherwise we will call it as a null. That's it. So here this is the thing. So now we need to add this one to our validators thing. So that's why we will be using the providers, and here it should be provide. So we need to add it in the ng_validators. So these are the we will be having all types of validators to this one. So we are adding our custom validator also to that validators. And here we need to use the use existing. So in order to have the same instance, we will be using use existing. If you use the use class means then you will be having an unexpected behavior. So that is the reason. And you need to keep the multi true so that it will be added to the all the directives. So this is how you will be maintaining it. So I'll try to explain you one by one again. So here what I have did, so directive decorator. So you know about the directive decorators and all these things. The first one is the selector, which we have used it, app forbidden name. So this defines how this directive will be applied. When we use app forbidden name as an attribute to an HTML, Angular knows to apply this directive. And we have used the providers. So registers this directive as a validator by provide this one ng_validators, means add this directive to the Angular list of validators. So Angular has the list of validators, and by using this ng_validators means then it will add it to the list of validators. So here you will be having all the validators. So that's why this is an injection token. So now let's try to go here into this one. Use existing. So here this is the main thing which you need to do. So uses the existing instance of the directive rather than creating a new instance. So if you try to use this use class means rather than using the existing instance, it will create a new instance for every time whenever you declare it to the directive, to the template. So this is important because the forbidden name property needs to be bind to the specific instance in the form. So that is the reason. Multi-true means so allows multiple validators to be applied to the same control. So that is the reason. So now here we have implemented this validator. So it will make sure our directive can act as a validator in Angular forms. The validator interface requires the validate method. That's it. So now here we have used this input. The allows to set the forbidden name in the template, making the directive dynamic. And forbidden name means so this one will holds the value, something like whatever the value you are trying to send it to the template. So fine. So now we have uses the validator forbidden name validator with a specified forbidden pattern and returns the result of the forbidden name validator, which is either an error object or a null. So fine. So this one is completed. Now we need to apply the directive to the template. Let's see how we can use this directive in the template driven form. So we will add the app forbidden name directive to an input field. Let's go to the actor.form.ts file. So okay, fine. So here actor.form.ts file, and for this one let's include this forbidden name directive. So we have added here as a directive, and let's go to the actor.form.html file. So here in this one, so we need to add for this app forbidden name. So app forbidden name is equal to, I will add it as a Leela. So that means the Leela name should not be allowed. So that's it. So now here, so we have implemented. Now let's try to see what is the problem. We have got it. Forbidden name validator. Okay, let's go to the now forbidden name validator. Let's go into this one. So here we are having, okay, so return function, we need to implement it like this. That's it. So now here we are able to see. So now what I am trying to say here, now whenever you are trying to say, if you go outside means name is required, fine. So if you try, name must be at least 4 characters long. So now it is telling it as an, okay, what it is saying. So still it is saying it as an forbidden name dot test of control dot value, and here we have written in such a way that so it should be forbidden name should be equal to Leela. So we are getting the error. Let's try to see. So whatever the name I am trying to say, it is throwing it as an error. The problem is if you try to see the forbidden name directive, and here let's try to see validate control this dot forbidden name. Oh, we are trying to send the regular expression, the value which the user has written, and we are trying to check with the name. So here we need to write this dot forbidden name. So whatever the input we are having, so we need to check it like this. So now if I try to enter, so it will be green, fine. If I try to enter the Leela, so now we are able to see a red color. Now we need to show the appropriate message to this one. So how we can show? Here we are writing the ngIf conditions, right? So here I can write div invalid name, and here you can write ngIf, sorry, not ngIf name dot has error of forbidden name. Okay, that's it. So now if you try to see the output for this one, so if I try to write the Leela, here you will be able to see invalid name. So this is how we will be implementing the custom validators in the template driven form. So here we have used the selector, defines how the, so here in our TS file, so here it will define how this directive will be applied. When we use app forbidden name as an attribute in HTML means Angular knows to apply this directive. So that is the main thing. So now here let's try that. So here we have already checked these all the things. So that's it about this one. So hope you understood about this concept. So now This approach provides a reusable, easy to apply custom validation setup for template driven forms in the Angular standalone application, enabling the dynamic input validation with minimal code in the template itself. Hope you understood about this one. So custom validators writing in the template driven form. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. I will try to give the reply. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.